Pastor. My name is Freefall. I'm MC for this morning talk. I'm very happy to see all of you here. And our talk for this morning is titled Buddhist Art of Interpersonal Skill. Our speaker for this morning is a teacher by profession. He obtained his Bachelor of Education at UPN. He's an experienced Dharma speaker at leadership camp and study groups at college and universities. He's actively involved in Buddhism since 15 years ago. He's involved in Buddhist translation work and Buddhist counseling. Buddhist songs writer and composer, he has come up with a latest Buddhist hymn tape by name of Huat. You can get the tape from the wires counter outside. And hope you can give him a full support. Let us welcome Brother Tan Huat Chye to give us the morning talk.
Very good morning to you, brothers and sisters, uncle and aunties. Probably before I start my talk this morning, I would very much like and I would very much appreciate if you can come forward and fill up the front seat. That's my normal standard procedure. So can you just come forward? Because you should not let the speaker feel you want to distance yourself from the speaker. And I guess the speaker should not want to feel that way also. So can you please cooperate and come forward? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, what we do sometimes, we put a lot of chairs here. And then if there's no people sitting in the front seat, normally there will be nobody wants to sit. So we take away the front chair. So left, the second one becomes the first one. That's what we normally do also. But we shouldn't feel that way when we come for a Dhamma talk. In fact, I'm not saying I'm like a Buddha, but when we want to listen to the Dhamma, we should be close to the Dhamma. That means we must be as near as possible, so that every single thing that perhaps a speaker is going to speak will be heard by us. And that should be the kind of attitude. And we should not sit as far as possible, like in a lecture theater, or maybe in a classroom we couldn't be bothered of what is happening. But in a Dhamma talk, I guess everybody should have that kind of feeling. Oh, I want to listen. I must go nearer. Perhaps if I don't go near, perhaps I won't be able to listen properly. So we should have that kind of attitude. That will be beneficial to you as well as to the speaker. So I don't have to stretch my head all the time looking at the back and trying to look in front and back at the same time. So it works that way. Okay, anyway, thank you for your cooperation. I see many of you responded. Right. You see, many people didn't want to learn Dharma because they say Buddhism has nothing to do with their life. I always emphasize when I go to various varsity and colleges that, in Chinese words are very interesting. Just as English word, just as Malay word. Susu lembu and lembu susu are different things. It just, susu lembu, it means cow's milk. Lembu susu is the cow that you rear which will eventually get the milk. Okay? Susu lembu and lembu susu is not the same thing. Okay? Oil palm and palm oil are totally different thing. So same thing, in Chinese word, 学佛跟佛学 are two different things. I have told many varsity students this. 佛学, that means a study of Buddhism. You see, many people go to temples, go to Sunday school, go to any organization, they try to learn Buddhism as much as they can. So you ask them what are the 4 Noble Truths, they can tell you properly. What are 8 Paths, they can list down 8 things for you. And what are 3 characteristics of life, they can list down for you. That is 佛学. Okay? Even a small boy in Sunday school can do that. So if you know that, you are no different from the boy in Sunday school. But 学佛, just now 佛学, now 学佛, is totally different. When you just reverse the 2 words, it becomes a different thing. 学佛 means you follow the path of the Buddha. You follow the Buddha's footsteps. That is 学佛. We must learn to become like Buddha. And that's basically what is lacking in Buddhism. Many Sunday schools, many Buddhist organizations emphasize a lot on Chye. There must be a lot of Dharma teachings, Dharma propagation going on. But on the other aspects, the practice of Buddhism, to follow the footsteps of Buddhism, of the Buddha, is sometimes not so much emphasized. So it becomes more of Chye instead of Chye. But actually, if you were to study Buddhism properly, you find that if we want to be a Buddhist, the very sincere answer that we must follow the footsteps of the Buddha. That's why only then we can call ourselves the follower of the Buddha. Just as if you want to call yourself a follower of a Kuan Yin, or Supai Kuan Yin, then you must follow the footsteps of Kuan Yin. Your action, your thought, your speech must be full of compassion all the time. Then you can say, I am paying respect to Kuan Yin, because you're paying respect to compassion. So same thing, if you want to pay respect to the Buddha, it's not a matter of saying, Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami. That's very mechanical. Sunday school boy also can do that. Okay? They can do that. They can do better than you, perhaps. But then that doesn't mean they are following what they have recited. You get what I'm trying to say? Yes? Alright, fine. So many people don't want to learn Dhamma because they say Buddhism has nothing to do with their life. Because they think learning Dhamma is like learning another subject. Nothing to do with their life. It's good to listen. It's wonderful sometimes. Some monks or some speaker will give very interesting talk. You laugh all the way through. When you get out of the temple, you forget everything. You do the reverse. Okay? Now Buddhism is not for the dead. I think all of you know that. It's not for the dead. Only people who is going to die, then they start to learn Buddhism. Or people already dead, then we call the monks or call whoever to come and finish off the work. Finish off the work. And Buddhism is also not, learning the Dhamma is not for problematic people only. People with problems only, they come to learn Dhamma. No. And there are some people who have this idea. I'm sure you have your colleagues, your friends, whom you ask them to come to temple, say, oh no, I don't want to go to temple. I'm okay, I'm happy. Yes, you are happy. But are you sure you can be happy all the time? That's another question. Okay? But we can't run away from problems. But then it doesn't mean that people who come to temple are all problem people. You don't look like you have problems. Do you? We all have problems. But what I mean is big problems, serious problems. Of course, there's nothing wrong if you have big and serious problems. It doesn't mean that you should not come to the temple. You should. But what I'm trying to say is, that kind of stigma that people who come to temple or people who learn Dhamma are for problematic people who have problems. And learning Dhamma, there are people who doesn't want to learn Dhamma because they think Buddhism is always for the outdated people. Okay? I'm sure you are not outdated. You all wear the latest fashion, latest hairstyle. I think if you look around the temple every Sunday, you see latest fashion, latest hairstyle, latest things that they have. Now, in fact, many people didn't know actually there are many aspects in Buddhism which can help them to live a much fruitful, meaningful, and happy life. In fact, everywhere I go, I bring the same message that Buddhism is for all of us. The Dhamma is for all of us. It's for all of us. And Dhamma is to help us to live a much happier life, a meaningful life, and a fruitful life. And that's basically, in fact, if you were to study the life of the Buddha, for 45 years the Buddha preached. For whom? For whom? Basically, it's for mankind. And basically, the Buddha preached, every time that the Buddha preached, he's not interested to get followers. Just like what I am doing now, I'm not interested whether after this you will sign up as a member or not. That is secondary. But what is more important is the message can be got across. Eventually you can use that message to live a better life. Buddhism should change you. If you have been around in a temple for more than a few years, if you have not changed, something is wrong somewhere. I'm not saying you are wrong, Something is wrong somewhere. Probably the speaker cannot bring across a message well. Probably the activities here do not bring you that kind of thing. Probably there are many reasons why it happened. But something is wrong somewhere. If you have come to the temple a couple of years, there should be some noticeable change in you. In terms of your character, in terms of your outlook, in terms of your perspective of life,
in terms of how you treat people. There should be some changes, if not many. Okay? You see how sometimes when people become Christian, they change overnight, 360 degrees? Why can't that happen for Buddhist? I'm not saying asking you to change 300. Why can't we change 90 degrees? Just enough for a start. Somewhere is wrong. So you have to go for some soul searching, sit down and think where it went wrong. Okay. Now we all want to be happy in life, and that's basically our goal. Agree? Who doesn't want to be happy here? Everybody wants to be happy. This is the same message I bring all the time. In fact, basically what the Buddha had preached for 45 years is to bring happiness to human beings, to mankind. We all want to be happy. That's why we work so hard. For students, that's why you study so hard. Because getting a good degree will make you happy. And eventually, if you can get a good job with good salary, that will make you much happier than what you are now, perhaps. And for many of us, we work very hard because we want to get things that we want to have in life. Because we feel that's how, or that's where we can be happy, we can feel happy. Okay? But happiness is something very subjective, something very elusive. We all want, but it's so difficult to get. Correct? Right? We all want, but we're very, very difficult to get. That's because we act with lots of greed, hatred, and delusion in our life. In our life, we want to be happy, but sometimes we do a lot of things, that shows to others that we are hateful. For example, you are caught in a traffic jam. How would you react? How would you react in a traffic jam? This is very common in KL. How would you react? You scold the car right in front of you? You do that? If you do that, will the car go away? If it will, by all means do so. But the fact that if you scold, it won't go away. Why make yourself unhappy in a car in a traffic jam? I'm bringing this live example for you to see. You see, we all once in a while get caught in a traffic jam in KL. What do you do? Let's not say as a Buddhist, let's say as a human being, what will you do? You scold the Datuk Bandar? Cilaka with Datuk Bandar. Now you're off already, so a new one comes already. But it doesn't solve the problem. Okay, you scold the traffic light? Stupid traffic light, why go on and off very fast? You scold that traffic light? Or you scold the policeman which has to stand under the hot sun for maybe hours just to direct the traffic? Now, if we were to do that, if we were to scold and comment and condemn and things like that, it would not help to change the traffic problem in that, or it will not change the situation. You'll still be very unhappy in the car, right? Fuming away. I'm late for work, and stupid policemen don't know how to direct that issue like that issue. You make yourself unhappy. You will not change the traffic problem. So that's why I say, basically we want to be happy. But sometime early in the morning, before going to work, we already caught in a traffic jam, we feel unhappy. Then you go to the office, or you go to your working place, you may see people you don't like. Right? You may see people you don't like. Or your boss. Or maybe you're caught in a traffic jam, you go to the office late, you punch the card, or you do some, you just write down your name and the time you arrive. And that, because you're late, already been you jotted down in red and things like that. And then the boss always call you, why are you late all the time, I can reach here early, why can't you reach here early, and things like that. So we feel unhappy. But basically in life, we want to be happy. So because of that, see, we act with lots of greed, hatred, and delusion in our life. And we want to be happy, we cannot be happy. We see lots of suffering, and yet we are not moved. Sometimes we see people in trouble, we don't help. There are many people who want to be pak sibuk, but they never help. Just an accident in Federal Highway will tell you that. How many people stop to help? If there are many more people to help, or there are lesser people, are there a lot of people, or there are very few people? who really help. What do most people do? Most people will just drive the car and say, accident, you go away. Now, if that car takes 2 seconds to slow down, imagine the number of cars in Federal Highway, you times by 2 seconds, and how many seconds you get caught in a traffic jam, just because of your 2 seconds slowing down. Or the car banged the other car, or a small problem, and then you drove off. 2 seconds, you times by how many cars along the Federal Highway. That's how we get caught in a traffic jam sometimes, because of 2 seconds for slowing down. You see that? Because all of us more interested to see rather than to help. And we see suffering, we don't help. Okay? We feel jealous over others' success in life. We want to be happy, but sometimes we cannot be happy because we see others are successful. We are not successful. We are jealous sometimes. Okay? Have you ever seen people being promoted and you're not promoted? You're not happy. That's okay. At least it's not so bad. But some people go beyond that. Try to plan things and to plan all kinds of things just to make sure that the other person does not go as high as he can. That's what, Then in life we find that we want to be happy, but many a time we act foolishly when things are not up to our expectation. We expect this, we expect that, but things didn't turn out to be the way it should be. So we feel unhappy. We are mentally disturbed and things like that. That could happen also in life. In fact, if you really were to count, we have more broken dreams than dreams that come true in life. Do you agree? You don't want to go to the science stream, or maybe you don't want to go to the art stream, you go to the science. Okay, fine. That's one broken dream really. Then after your performance, you expect to get grade 1, but then you came up grade 2. You expect to go to varsity, somehow you land up yourself somewhere else. You have a dream. You know, when we were small, our teacher used to ask us, But Chye, when you grow up, what you want to be? I want to be an engineer. Okay, engineer. That's what our teacher. But if you were to get back that very card your teacher wrote when you were small, you'll find that many of us didn't really get what we wanted in the first place. Our dreams change. Many of dreams have been broken. Then when, go to school and after your exams, you wanted to get a nice place to work, then somehow you landed yourself in one company. The boss is not very understanding, your staff are not very cooperative, and the whole environment is so tense all the time when you work. Broken dreams again. Okay? Then when you have your house, you have everything ready, you have the career, you want to get a partner in life. When you were young, you dream of a person riding on a horse, right? But you never get. Your boyfriend doesn't ride a horse, he rides a bicycle or maybe a motorcycle. You don't get what you want. Right? You dream that your husband will be very handsome, but it turned out to be the other way around. In fact, most of the time it is like that. Or for girls, you dream your husband to be very handsome, for a man to have a very beautiful wife, but it came out to be something else. Maybe broken dreams, maybe. I'm not saying, So, in life we have a lot of expectation, but many a time our expectation didn't turn out the way it should be. And because of that, we are mentally disturbed, off and on and things like that. And if we don't have a very strong moral foundation and religious foundation, that's where we will be shaken sometimes. Okay? Now, many people are not happy because they don't know how to deal with themselves and with others. You see, learning Buddhism is to learn the art of how to deal with yourself. Dealing with your problems, with your frustration, with all kinds of worries, anxiety in you, and dealing with the problems of others that are outside. That is learning Buddhism in simple language. How to deal with yourself and to deal with others. Many of the problems outside need help because people cannot help themselves and they cannot help others also. But learning Buddhism is to teach you the art on how to help yourself at the same time you help others. That's learning Buddhism. Can follow so far? Yes or no? Okay, fine. Now, if a person cannot deal with the problem within him and outside, what happens is tension tends to grow. Tension at home, tension in a working place, tension in schools, tension in colleges and varsities, tension within yourself grows. And because this tension grows, we get heated up very easily. You see, have you ever seen people get irritated very fast? Because the tension built very fast. You know, hypertension heart builds up very fast. Okay? So because of that, they get heated up very fast, they get angry very quickly, and because of that they do a lot of things which hurt themselves and hurt others. Have you seen the Cantonese show? The girl wanted the boy, she didn't manage to get the boy. There were two schoolgirls interested in her, and how eventually she hurt herself, she hurt others at the end of the story. You seen the show? Now the show has a moral. You should not try to get what is not yours. No matter how hard you try, if you try hard, things which are not supposed to be yours, and you try very hard to get it through some other ways, eventually you will hurt yourself and you hurt others. And eventually you saw the daughter of the other friends killed. Okay? She was blind. She lost her husband. She practically lost everything just because of that greed and hatred. Please watch the Cantonese show with some Dhamma eyes. Then you see wisdom. Otherwise you become like the honkies. Actually, when you see show is about life. It's about human existence. It's about human greed, hatred, and delusion. Look at it and try to get some Dhamma out of the Cantonese show, even though they are sometimes rubbish. But from the rubbish, you can find some gold once in a while. So take up some things. Okay? Now in this aspect, knowing what to do at the most crucial time in life is very useful for us and for others. We all have problems. I said in the beginning of my talk, we all have problems. But the difference is how we face the problem. Okay? You have problems, I have problems, everybody have problems. But the difference is how you use the Dhamma that you are listening to all the time to help yourself, to adjust yourself, to adapt yourself to the new environment or the changes that happens around you. That's why we learn the Dhamma. So we become more prepared. Now how can Buddhism help? Now even though Buddhism talks about the universe and all sentient beings, the essence of the teachings of the Buddha still falls back to human mind. Now please take note this statement. The essence of the Buddha's teaching goes back to the mind of a human. That's why in the Buddhist teaching, the very essence of Buddhism talks about the mind. First verse in Dhammapada, mind is the forerunner of all things. If you were to know the essence of Buddhism, Sabba papasa karanang kusalasa upasampada Sachitta pariyo dapanang etang buddhana sasanang. Avoid evil, do good, purify your mind. This is the teachings of all Buddha. So the essence of Buddhism actually falls back to human mind. If human mind is okay, the world will be okay. If human mind is not okay, then the world will be in chaos. Therefore, in Buddhism, the solution to human problem is not so much of an external struggle, but it's more of an internal struggle. How to purify your mind, how to recondition your mind, reorientate your mind so that your mind becomes more flexible. Many a time our minds are not flexible. Have you seen children playing before? When they play, after that they quarrel. They are not flexible, No, this is mine. They are not flexible. They quarrel, even when they play. But the good thing about children is, after that they make up again. But the adults also like children. Okay? They play together, they work together, they quarrel, after that they break up. And they don't come back again. That's the only difference between children and adults. Even though their mind is not so flexible, but they got a heart which can open up themselves and receive more things when they were young. But when we grow older and older, our hearts keep smaller and smaller, and that's how our circle of friends becomes smaller and smaller. Have you noticed that? When you were young, you have a lot of friends you can play with, any Tom, Dick and Harry, Indian, Chinese, Malay, anybody you can play. For girls, boy also you can play together. But when you get older and older, you become smaller and smaller. Your heart says, this cannot, that cannot, don't play with Malay friends, don't work with Indians, don't do this, don't do that. And eventually you make your heart smaller. And that's where you become more and more narrow-minded. And that's where we become more and more kepala batu. Degil. We refuse to accept things, sometimes we refuse to see things. Okay? So, what I'm trying to say is Buddhism deals with human mind, because this mind is important. And what I'm going to talk about is talking about how we should recondition our mind, so that our relationship with ourselves, with others will be good. Okay? Now the path towards Buddhahood, or Chen Fo Zhi Lu, the path towards Buddhahood, has to begin in how to live as a man. 你要成佛，你就要怎样懂得怎样做人。No point talking about very high aspects of Buddhism when you can't even know the simple aspects of how to become a good man in life. The Buddha did not start as a Buddha. He started off as a man. He lived an extraordinary life as a man. And eventually he passed away as a superman. Okay? Superhuman. He lived as a man. In fact, many religious teachers, they start off as a man. Jesus Christ was born as a man. He didn't come, according to Christianity, he didn't come like a god, but he came in the face of a man. Okay? The Prophet Muhammad came as a man. So many, in many aspects of many religions, he started off as a man. To try to show, the same message is, all these great people of the world start off as a man. To show to us that actually we as a human being, we are no different from them in that aspect. We can reach that stage of a great man. But of course there are things to do to reach to a great man stage. But they all start out as a man. So if you want to become enlightened, to go to the path of Buddhahood, he has to start off the journey, has to start off how to live as a man. 你要懂得怎样做人，好好做人啦。Now the Cantonese show also talking about that. Something they all know that word, Cantonese word, something become Malay, become something really. It's a different thing altogether. So we have to start out as a human being, how to deal with human being. That is why you find that the Buddha's last birth also as a human being. For any Sama Sambuddha, for his last birth, he'll become a human being again. Because in a human being, you have the best of both worlds. We can see rich poverty and wealth. We can see suffering and happiness. We can see beauty and the beast. We can see many things because we have the best of both worlds. The Buddha started off as a man also for his last life. Okay? Now in this aspect, Buddhism has a lot to offer to us on how to live a life as a man, how to reorientate our mind. Our mind since small have been orientated in a different way. If your mother is a very stingy mother, if your father is a very hateful father, you grow up, there is a chance that you might grow up like your father, like son. 有其父必有其子 in Mandarin. Okay? So what kind of education you get is start off in the house. Your mind already been orientated. Some family are very, they always think of their own things first and they don't bother about others. That son will grow up very selfish. It could happen. Then later when they go to school, you get a lousy teacher And that's where it's reorientated to become worse. It could happen. Or you send, most parents nowadays, they are busy working. They get a Filipino maid or Indonesian maid. If the Indonesian maid is something else, that's how your son will be. So next time, don't blame. You see, because our parents nowadays don't want to spend a lot of time, or maybe they can't afford to spend a lot of time with their kids. They leave it to Filipino maids or Indonesian maids. And what kind of orientation that maid has will affect your kid. Okay? So you find that actually, so education is important. Most of the time we leave it to somebody else, and their mind being orientated, being shaped by this group of people. And learning Dharma is to reprogram your mind to become another set, with another set of ideas, so that you can live a better life. Now, in this aspect, Buddhism has a lot to offer. If we were to study Buddhism, we find that Buddhism can help us to overcome the three roots of evil: greed, hatred, delusion, through meditation. Okay? If you have practiced meditation before, you know you have to be more aware, more mindful. That's the key word. Okay? So when you're about to get angry, that's how Buddhism can help you. When you're about to get angry, of course, there are many people with many kinds of formula, right? When you get angry, count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, no more angry. Some people do that. Some people say, when you want to get angry, take a deep breath. But sometimes it doesn't work. It becomes worse. Some people say, if you want to get angry, when you're about to get angry, then you think of something. Think of your mother, or think of your father, or think of somebody, or think of your lover, or whatever it is. Then your anger will go away. Probably it works. But for Buddhism, you see, I said, if you have been practicing meditation for a long time, then when your anger comes up, you watch your anger, right? You can sense your body. What happens when you get angry? What happens when you get angry? Your face turns red, right? Fumes come out from your nose, right? Hot air, yes. Don't believe next time you get angry, test and see whether it's hot air or not. Okay? Then you find that your ears turn red. Some of them, the eyes can even turn red when you get angry. And you can sense there is a certain sensation of hotness in your face when you get angry. So if you are practicing meditation, you're supposed to be aware of your feelings, of your sensation. Then you know that hot sensation is there. Then you know you're getting angry. The moment you start to know you're getting angry, if you have wisdom, it goes down. Most people, they don't know they're angry. They don't know they're angry. Or they know they're angry that they ignore. They add in more fire. They add in more oil. And that's where it gets bad. But anyway, Buddhism can help us to overcome these three evil roots. The practice of the 5 precepts can help us to make sure that there is harmony with ourselves and with our environment. I will not talk about this. Then the practice of the 4 Brahma Viharas is also important for inter-human relationship, which I will be talking about afterwards. Okay? Now, Buddhism believes the key to happiness for lay people lies in one of the key to happiness is actually it lies in good human relationship. You understand? We are not alone. We don't live a life of a hermit, perhaps. We are living in a society. So when we live in a society, we are dealing with yes, people. So Buddhism teaches us how to deal with people, how to have a good human relationship. Now, in Buddhism, in Chinese, we always talk about yen. You know yen? Not the salt. This yen is something Buddhism talk about yuan. Okay, this yuan fen. Now these two words yuan fen also very interesting. Yuan is one thing, fen is another thing. Fen is the amount. Yuan is the cosmic force. So 缘分呢 many people have 有缘啦，没魂啦，有缘没有分。That means in life, sometimes we meet certain people just for a while only. We have that karmic relationship to be together, but only for a while. Sometimes lovers are like that. 我们有缘没有分。Okay? We have a chance to meet together for a while, and because of the other factors, supportive factors are not there, the fun is not there, we break, or we didn't see each other after that. And there are many occasions you have friends whom you acquainted with for a while only. After that, they are somewhere else, and you are somewhere else, and eventually you forget about, or you are never together again. That could happen. Now, it's very interesting to talk about this yuan, because basically Buddhism believes we don't meet by chance. As Buddhists, we don't meet by chance. You are here not by chance. I don't come here by chance also. That's what I told many of the varsity students. I don't just Sunday, wake up early in the morning, nothing to do, just drive a car. Brickfields. Okay, I drive to Brickfields, just move around Brickfields, YMCA, move around this area. Temple, I come in and park my car. Got talk, no speaker. Okay, let me be the speaker. It doesn't work that way. All this happen because they are cause, effect, cause, effect, cause, effect. This is karmic. So when we talk about yin, we're talking about karmic effects, cause and effect. If you want to have a good effect, you must know how to create good causes. Then you can get good effects. Many people want to have good effects. The good effects are happiness, harmony, goodwill, friendly. These are good effects. Many of us want that. That's why I say this is the ideal. But many of them do not know how to create the good causes. Because they do not know how to create the good causes, they don't have the good effects. And that's why they always say, why people don't like me? Why I always face problem? Why people always, when I give a suggestion, they always throw my suggestion out of the meeting? There are many people like that. I try to help so many people, I try to do so many things, yet he's not responding. Why? Cause and effect. This is what we call about 缘分. It's important. So when we talk about human relationship, when you want to have you want to enjoy good relationship with people, you must know this simple understanding of cause and effect. 缘分, the karmic effects. Can you see so far? So if you want to have a good relationship with people, you must know how to create good causes so that you have good effects. You don't expect good effects to come without good causes. If you are stingy, many people run away from you. If you are not helpful, people will go away from you. You are trying to take advantage of people. People will not crowd around you. Sooner or later, in the beginning, people will come near you, but after sometimes they sense it, they'll go away. Because you always create the bad causes. The effects will come. You have no friends. So in Buddhism, we talk about yin and fen. We talk about human relationship. And in Mahayana Buddhism especially, in fact, I shouldn't say Mahayana, but it is greatly emphasized in the Mahayana Buddhist groups. We talk about Chye San Yen. You know Chye San Yen means to build up a good relationship. Build up a good relationship with people, with animals, with the surrounding. Try as far as possible, no matter how bad your friends can be, no matter how bad your colleague may be, no matter how bad your boss may be, you should try to avoid creating bad human relationship. The very person you hate may be your savior in another 10 years' time. That's what I told the varsity student. The very girl you don't like could be your wife. The very boy you hated most could be your husband. You never know in life. That is why from time to time as Buddhists we always emphasize that there should be good human relationship. And we should always 戒善言. So today I'm going to speak a little bit about how to create, to build up that kind of good human relationship. As what I says in the beginning, we are talking about the mind. I'll go back to the mind afterwards. What kind of mind or heart that you should have? It's very confusing, is it? When we talk about, you see, in Chinese, the mind is referred to as the Xing. But the Xing is not something that you feel, just feeling only. No. Xing is something that you feel, at the same time you reason, according to the Buddhist term, that Xing. Which is where English is difficult to find the equivalent. We have the brain is for you to think. The mind is the other part which compute sometimes. And then the heart is the part which you feel. The English people or the Western people separate. The heart is for feeling. The mind is for you to reason, rationalize. The brain is for you to think. So they compartmentalize the thing in Western society. That's why our studies now are very compartmentalized. This is what we call secularism. We separate out. Religion is religion. Workplace is workplace. Study is study. It has no connection. That's what the West always do. But Asian people, especially Chinese, they try to make it compact. Compact. That's why Chinese words are very compact. 4 words you can use one whole page of English to explain that 4 Chinese words. Okay, because basically Chinese, they think in a compact way. So what happened? The word Xing is a sum of total, everything. Your mind, your brain, your heart. That's the Chinese word. So in Buddhism, when you talk about Xing, it's talking about actually the mind or our hearts. Now, I will talk about that because human relationship has to do with this too. Your mind and your heart. How you feel and how you think and how you rationalize. We're talking about that Xing. So today I'm going to speak on how Buddhism can help you to develop the kind of heart, the kind of mind, the kind of Xing that you should have so that there will be good human relationship. Remember the cause and effect just now I told you? If you want the effect, you must have a good causes. And good causes must come from the good heart, good mind. 好的心才有好的因，才有好的果，才有好的人缘，才有好的善缘，才有好的缘分。It all works that way. Can you follow so far? Are you lost? No? Okay, fine. Let's go on. Now, human relationship is not inherited. Of course, in some way, we would say it is inherited. Some people, when they are born, 已經有做人，識做人啦。It's by nature, some people, they know how to treat you well. They know how to take good care of you. They know how to take good care of your feelings. Some people by birth. But what I say inherited here, it does not mean that some people say, God gave me that. Some people say, oh, my grandfather, grandmother are all good people, therefore I'm good. Some people feel that way. But actually, when we talk about inherited, in certain sense, it is your past cultivation. In a past life, you have been cultivating it. So this life, it looks so natural when you're born with that. Some are born with with a heart full of hatred when they are young, right? Have you seen a baby being born? Some baby, nobody teach them to be mangzhang, But by birth, when they are born and the mother tries to, the baby gets very irritated very easily. Where that habit comes from? Buddhism says it's very easy. In the past, that particular baby had been maybe a very hateful person, very restless person, and that habits have been carried forward to this life. Therefore, the mother never teach. When you don't have enough milk to drink, show your anger, then the mother will never teach that. But the baby knows that. When it gets a little bit hot, the baby will show temper sometimes in his baby way. Nobody teach. It comes. So in this sense, we can say it's inherited. But what I'm trying to say, inherit doesn't mean somebody has given that. But it could be due to the past cultivation. Now, human relationship is not inherited in a sense that it has to be practiced. Why certain people look as if they got this inheritance is because in the past they have been cultivating it. Some people just know how to take good care of others. Some people, their mouth are just sweet. You know? That's why some baby boys and baby girls, right? Their mouth is so sweet, you know? So much so that the uncles, the grandfather, the grandmother will love that particular boy or girl. And the others, they may not like so much because the others, the mouth are not so sweet. This girl, every time, I give to grandma first lah. Grandma here, oh, give to grandma first. The grandma will love that kid, you know. Give to daddy first, the daddy will taste. Some girls and some boys, they have this extra thing. Because in the past, probably they have cultivated that. But for many of us, perhaps we have not cultivated that in our life. We don't have that. We don't know how to say thank you. Malaysian government trying to teach you how to say thank you, right? You go everywhere, they got a signboard, thank you, terima kasih, xie, and all the languages. Because we don't know how to say thank you. Trying to teach us. Now these are all small things that makes you a good human being. And that will be very important for you to become a what? Acceptable person in the society. People can take you to be part of them. You know, the feeling of being rejected in a group is so terrible. There are many people, they work in the same place, they are rejected by their office staff. Many people, many students in school, they study in the same classroom, but they may be rejected by their friends in the class. That feeling of rejection is terrible. All because of this human relationship. Sometimes if you don't know how to give and take, that's the end of your relationship with people. Sometimes you always try to take advantage of people, that's the end of your relationship with people. Okay? Now, practice to try and make us skillful in dealing with people and ourselves. Okay? So Buddhism wants to teach you certain sets of things which Buddhism feels it's important for all of us to enjoy that good relationship with people, so that we will have environment which is conducive for us to. There are a lot of political problems there, a lot of natural disaster. So the country is very backward. It takes a lot of effort, time and energy and money to build the country. But a country like Malaysia, where we enjoy political stability to a certain extent, we don't have a lot of natural disaster, we can concentrate more time, energy, effort, money towards progress. Same thing, a family with a lot of family problems will have to spend a lot of time to sort out the family problems, and because of that, that family will not progress very far. If that family runs a business, the business will have a lot of problems. Same thing, every individual, if he has a lot of problems within himself, then he will not progress fast because he has to spend a lot of energy, time to solve his own problem. So enjoying a good human relationship will help us to ease out all these problems first, so that we have more time, energy, and readiness to go a step further in our career advancement, spiritual development, or whatever it is. That is why it is important. Can you see the importance? Yeah? There are some people who have spent so much time trying to solve problems. With this girl, with that man, with that uncle, with that, you know. There are many people who try to spend a lot of time just to solve problems all the time. But there are many people who doesn't have to have that kind of worry. They spend a lot of time on how to build more friendship with others, instead of trying to patch up all the time. A love affair, which you have to spend a lot of time to patch up, is very painful. Business, if you have to spend a lot of time to patch up the business, is very painful. Same thing in anything. Okay? Now, Buddhist art of good human relationship is actually found in the 4 Brahma Viharas. In Mandarin, it's called 四无量心. The word sin come back again. 四无量心. 四 means 4, 无量 means no border, no boundary. Okay? No boundary, there's no border, there's no boundary, tak ada sempadan. 四无量心, the heart which has no limit. That's the 4 Brahma Viharas. In Mandarin it's called 四无量心. 慈悲喜舍. Okay? Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upeka, or in English is called loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and balanced mind or equanimity. These 4 things. Now these 4 things actually, it looks very simple, but if you can practice it in any place, at home, in your working place or anywhere, if you can do that, you will enjoy a very good human relationship with people. Let us go to it and see. Number 1, metta. 慈. We always talk about our 慈祥的母亲啊，爸爸。慈 gives you that kind of nice feeling, right? In Mandarin, it's 慈祥. It gives you that kind of nice feeling. So when you have metta, you should give the people around you that kind of nice feeling. People love to be near you. People like to be near you. People feel attracted to you like a magnet. You're a magnet, all the things will come near to you. You are like that. Okay. Now metta is the 9th paramis. Paramis, If a person wants to become Buddha, he has to cultivate this parami. So it's the 9th parami and the first of the 4 Brahma Viharas. First of the 4. Now it means, metta or Chye means that which softens one's heart. Have you seen some nice people around? When you feel, for example, you have something and then you're not happy with the deal, business deal or what, then you say, I want to see the boss. So you went through the secretaries, I want to see the boss. So you went inside the boss room. Then you see the boss who is so full of metta. Yes, what can I do for you? The moment that word comes out from that particular person's mouth, half of your anger already gone. Some people are like that. Half of the anger already gone. Then when he starts to reason with you, talk to you nicely, another quarter gone. By the end of the session, you don't feel like making any more complaints. Just because of that metta. It softens people's heart. Have you seen that before? I'm sure some company got good stuff like that. In fact, the boss should identify such people. They are assets to the company. They got good personality. When you talk about PR, every company will have PR, but PR sometimes cannot be trained, It can be taught to a certain extent, but it has to be felt and realized by the individual itself. Some people go for PR training, come out, they become a PR officer, but they are hopeless. So fierce when the customer comes and, yes, what can I do for you? Finish. He's a PR officer. And when the customer get angry, he also get angry. Faster than the customer. It doesn't work. Okay? So, metta, Buddhism teaches you to cultivate this metta, because metta, if you have this ability, it softens people's heart faster. People see sometimes by looking at the smile, like, yes, good morning, what can I do for you? Alamak. Don't feel like complaining really. Sometimes it works. That's why a smile will always carry a lot of weight. Government asks us to smile, so right in a campaign, Malayan Banking's advertisement, a smile makes up two and things like that. So you must smile often also. Now, it is the sincere wish for the welfare and happiness of other beings. You want to make sure that others are happy. Now, in the Metta Sutta, it is mentioned that just as a mother protects her only child at the risk of her life, even so one should cultivate metta towards all beings. If a mother, you should cultivate this kind of metta just like a mother protects his own child. Only child. That kind of love. No ending love, to protect the child. That kind of metta you should have towards your own people around you. Does a boss treat those workers under him like that? Does a supervisor treat the people under him like that? Does a teacher treat a student like that? Does a mother or father treat a child or son like that? These are the questions we have to ask. If you do, metta is slowly developing in you, and that will build up the relationship. If you don't have that, it breaks up the relationship. Now, metta transcends all narrow brotherhood. Narrow brotherhood such as racial love among, some people, they love their own race only. They check the color of the skin, whether it's the same or not. Some people, they check even the clan. Fukingan, Talo, Hakangin, things like that could happen. For example, they even go to the clan level. Now, metta is not this kind of racial brotherhood. It is not even religious brotherhood. Buddhist, I'm Buddhist. We are brothers and sisters. Not Buddhist. Sorry, that could happen. And because of that, you find that there are many wars happen in this world because of all this. People fight because of different religion. People fight because of different race. Many of the problems of the world today is because of race and religion. They are two sensitive things. Okay? Now, metta has no barrier, no discrimination. If a mother has 3 kids, it's so difficult to become a very fair mother or a fair father. Sometimes first, second, third, do, re, mi in a family, that's where the problem comes. The door will be orientated terribly. 你最大的洗碗，你最大的去拿，妹妹不会，your sister don't know lah. You as a big brother go and do. So the door always get a lot of work. Okay, the me always get a lot of attention, a lot of metta, love given by mother to me, but the re always been forgotten. That's why in psychology we have this called the middle son syndrome. Middle son syndrome. Middle child syndrome. The second one always get neglected. Okay? That could happen. Now, as a parent, as a mother, or as a father, as a teacher, or whatever it is, as a boss in a company, do you discriminate people because of their skin, because of their facial look? Sometimes we don't know. We just look, oh, this daughter looks prettier. I love this daughter more than that daughter. That could happen for parents also. So sometimes parents indirectly teaching the children how to discriminate, to have discrimination. But to develop metta means we should try to develop an undiscriminating heart. 一个没有分别的心 That's metta. 没有偏见的心 That's metta. Now I go back to the word sin again. I was talking about the mind. You must have a mind which does not discriminate people. Then you develop metta. It's very frustrating working in an office where your boss discriminates you from others because of certain criteria. It's very frustrating in a school when your teacher discriminates you from other students because of certain things. Very frustrating. It is very frustrating at home when your mother or your father discriminate you from other brothers and sisters because of certain things. Because of this no metta. So if a parent, if a boss, if a teacher, if anybody could develop this metta and try to reduce this undiscriminating heart, 没有分别心的心, then you find that there will be easier ties. Because the moment I start to discriminate these two, for example, I like her, I don't like her, what will happen to her? What will happen to her? Feel sad, that's all. Angry. If the anger goes on, it becomes hatred. Okay, very strong hatred. Sometimes jealousy will come. Okay, then she might do something to make sure that things change. Or she might do something towards this girl, which I like, or she might do something towards me. That's how things go. That's why if you have no metta, it makes relationship worse. So a parent, a worker, a supervisor, a boss, whosoever it is, your teacher or any other job, you should have metta. You should not discriminate. Okay? Like the sun sheds its ray on all without distinction, so is metta. The Buddha exercised metta towards all beings, just like the sun shines. The sun never selects a place to shine only. Let the sun shine in Malaysia alone. Singapore have no sun. It does not work. Sun gives ray to every part of the world. Okay? And the Buddha shows love, this metta, loving kindness to people who love him and people who hate him also. People who loves him, who treats him well, like Ananda, the Buddha shows his love. For people who hate him, people who want to throw him down, people like people like Devadatta, that happens also. The Buddha shows his love towards Devadatta also. The wicked cousin, the Buddha did that also. So that is the shining example we must follow the Buddha. Now, metta should not be extended to ourselves alone, but also to, it must not extend to others, but also to ourselves. There are many people who love others, but they hate themselves. It happens, especially young boys and young girls, they always like Guo Fu Chen's face. Guo Fu Seng. They always like Li Ming, Lai Meng. Or they like Michael Jackson. Oh, I like that actor, that actress face. Oh, the eyes so beautiful, the ears so nice. But they never like themselves. They go and watch, they go and look at themselves in the mirror. My nose not nice, my ear not okay, my face like that, how come? Then they start to blame their mother and things like that. There are many people who love others so much that they don't love themselves. That's not good. That's not metta also. A person wants to practice metta, he must love himself. And because he loves himself, he learn to love others. He has to learn to love others also, just the way he loves himself. That's metta. So if a person can think along that line, he has a heart for others and for himself. Many of us sometimes have heart for others but forget ourselves. Or we have a heart for ourselves, we forget others. But to enjoy good human relationship, you must have a heart for yourself and for others. This is metta. Okay? Can follow? Alright. Now, he who has metta constantly promote the good of others. You see, if you love others, if you have loving kindness for others, you always try to promote the good of others. It's always easy to find the fault of others, right? Yes or no? Some boss are very bossy that they always find fault with their people who works under them. This is not correct. You should not put the flower pot there. Put there. That curtain is not nice. Change another color. This typing is not properly done. Do it again. Actually, it's okay. Some teachers are like that. Some students are like that also. So you find that a person who has metta try to look for the good of others. You see, in everybody there is some goodness in him, right? Right or not? Everybody has some goodness. This is what we Buddhists believe. We don't believe everybody has some sin in them, but we always believe everybody has some good in them. That's what the Buddha did every day. When he wakes up in the morning, he surveys the world with his divine eyes, which is full of compassion, to see who is ready to be helped. He does not say, who is sinful or who is wrong, I am ready to teach him. The Buddha did not do that. But the Buddha says, who is ready to be helped? With his heart full of compassion, he goes to help those people. So we should try to be like the Buddha. That's why I said earlier, 不是佛学是学佛. We should be like the Buddha, walking on the path of the Buddha. Try to see the good points of others. Even people like Angulimala, who kills 999 people, more than that actually, to get the 999 fingers and left with one more. The Buddha have heart for him. When you say have heart means you have time for him, you have attention for him. You understand? No? When you have a heart for people, you pay attention to that person. You give time to that person. Okay, so the Buddha have heart for people like Angulimala. The Buddha have heart for people like, for example, Kisa Gautami, who lost her only child. The Buddha have heart for prostitutes like Patachara. The Buddha have heart for a boy who is lost like Sopaka. The Buddha have hearts for many people. That's why the Buddha was successful for 45 years. He stays tall because he enjoyed good human relationship amidst the people who may even hate him, but eventually he managed to overcome all these problems. Do you have a heart for yourself and for others? This is a question you have to ask. Okay? So when one seeks more beauty of others, one can learn to live harmoniously with others. You know, when you, for example, if a husband see the beauty of the wife, not only the external beauty, 36, 24, 36, but the other beauty, besides the guitar shape, he has some other beauty. Wife cooking is number one. Then you see the beauty of a wife, the way your wife bring up your kids. You love the way she brings up the kids, or she solved the problem among the brothers and sisters in a family. There are some things in that particular person you learn to love. If you can do that, then there will be more good relationship being built in a family. Your friends also. Your friends may be very hot-tempered, but he could be very helpful. Always add in that but, remember. Always add in that but. I'm not asking you to be suspicious of people. If a person is very nice to you, please add in another but. But fill in the blanks later. If there's nothing to feel, don't feel. What I'm trying to say is try to be more careful when you mix with people outside. He's nice to you. Okay, put a but there, ... Give time to yourself to find out whether there is anything behind that or not. If nothing, fine. If that person is bad, never mind. Put a but there and see whether you can fill in the blank with some other good things or not. If you can find, then that friend is worth to be with. Okay? He may be very hot-tempered, but he could be very helpful. When you have problems, he's the first one to come to you. That could happen in life. Not everybody is bad all the time. So this is metta. Now, second one, karuna. Now, karuna is defined, or compassion is defined, that which makes the heart quiver when others are suffering. You know? A man with compassion is always sensitive to the surrounding. He cannot tolerate the suffering of others, and he wishes to remove the woes of others. That is why Guan Yin, that name came about. Guan Yin? Or Guan Yin is a short form. A longer form is Guan Shi Yin. Guan means you are aware. You understand? Huh? The word Guan means you are aware, you are mindful. Shi means the word. Yin, the voice or the cry. What kind of voice, what kind of cry? Cry and the voice of suffering. So a person who wants to be Guan Shi Yin or Guan Yin, or to become a bodhisattva like Avalokitesvara, he has to be always sensitive to the environment. Now, if we are always sensitive to the people around us, especially their problem, then we find that we have a heart for them, right? When we have a heart for people, people have a heart for us also, somehow. Remember the cause and effect? Yin. That's why sometimes when you help somebody feel very indebted to you, and sometimes even though they may not want to help you, they also help you. Sometimes happen, for example, you have been very nice to a friend, and a friend got married, and a particular day you have some other appointment also. But you know that friend is very nice to you all the while. So you feel very not nice not to go, right? So eventually you cancel the appointment, you went for his wedding also. It could happen. Now, this simple example shows that we have a heart for people because people have a heart for us. Because you have helped him before. Okay? Now, a compassionate person cannot rest satisfied until they relieve the suffering of others. Now, if a boss is sensitive to his workers, there are many bosses. I have worked under bosses which are not very understanding. Some bosses are very demanding. It's okay to be demanding, but you must have a heart for your workers. You must have a heart for those who work under you. If you feel he has a good reason to ask for a day leave because of certain cases, in fact, as a Buddhist, I guess, you should give. Because it's also mentioned in the Sigalawada Sutta. Please go back and read the Sigalawada Sutta. The duty between employer and employees. The idea is to show that sometimes certain boss, they are very friendly with you, they're very helpful to you. We don't mind to do extra work for the boss, This is good human relationship in your working place. But if some boss are very calculative, you come late 1 minute, why you're late for 1 minute? Some boss are like that. Very calculative. That worker, I tell you, it is cause and effect, will be very calculative towards the boss. He will work exactly until 5 o'clock. He will not stay even 1 minute later. And he will leave the moment the bells ring or the moment the clock shows 5 o'clock, out he goes from the office. Then some boss say, why my workers are all like that? He must look at himself. What kind of relationship he has established with his workers? So sometimes in life it is give and take. It works that way. Of course, there are some people who like to use his authority. But authority does not last, mind you. Authority does not last. As a Buddhist, if you know everything is anicca, authority does not last. Okay? Sometimes, that's why some people, when they get out of that working place or that office, people spit on them. Because once he leaves the office, he has no authority already. People don't even look at them. Some even spit at them. This is what we call human relationships. So you must learn to give and take. Because eventually, if you make others win, you win. If you want to win all the time, you lose. Human relationships. So Buddhism teaches that we must have a heart for others, especially if people who work under you have problems. You must be sensitive. Give them a day off. Help them in some ways that you can. Because basically that's what... Now, some even go to the extent of sacrificing themselves for others. There are some people who have this compassionate heart. They sacrifice for others. For example, not long ago we have this Palestinian AIDS. Okay? And there was this doctor from Singapore called Dr. Ang. A lady which went over to the Middle East. And she worked there without being paid because she was very touched by the suffering of the Palestinians there, especially the kids. Okay? Or you see Mother Teresa. They are not Buddhist. These people are not Buddhist, but they have a heart, a compassionate heart. Mother Teresa, who was very touched by the suffering of these Indian people in India, she went all the way to India to start her missionary work there, and especially her social work there. She moved the heart of millions. And when she fell sick, she went for operation. There are many people who knelt down and prayed for her well-being. Such are the people who have touched the hearts of millions, because the good human relationship has been built. But there are many other people whom we love to hate them. Very interesting word, We love to hate them. There are many people, because that human relationship has not been established. They are very hard. They are very rough with the people around them. They treat people cruelly. They treat people like dogs. There are many people who are like that. So we should have a heart for people, just like this Dr. Ang, Mother Teresa, and many others who have a heart for others because of their compassion. So in other words, when we try to develop compassion, we try to develop a caring and a helpful heart. Just now we are trying to develop an undiscriminating heart. This is we are trying to develop a caring and a helpful heart for others. A heart always ready. You have a problem, come to me, don't worry. You got a problem, bring me up. We must have that. If you can do that, if you care more for others, others will eventually care for you. It works that way, believe me. If you don't care for others, you won't care. That's why nowadays children don't care much for their parents, because the parents don't care much for the children. Because they think they care only in terms of makan, I give you makan, place, got place to stay also, school, send them to school. Some parents can't wait for the school to be reopened, because when every time when it's holiday time is headache time for parents, because all the kids will be at home, and when they are at home they always quarrel, but they make noise, the parents cannot stand, and they always want the holiday to come to finish quickly so that they can send back and give the problem back to the teachers in school. It could happen. So when the parents don't have a heart for children when they grow up, they don't have a heart for parents. So some family, mother and children and father and children are very close because the father have a little bit more heart for the children. Some family, the relationship between family members are very loose because they don't have heart for each other. Whether it is a metta or karuna, whether it is an undiscriminating heart or a caring heart, they don't have that. Okay? Now, the next one, mudita. It is not sympathy. Mudita is not sympathy, but sympathetic or appreciative joy. Sympathetic and appreciative joy. That word appreciate, please take note. Appreciative joy. Now this kind of feeling is very important for us, to have this feeling towards others, because it overcomes jealousy. Many problems comes because of jealousy. Don't say jealousy only found in women, please. Men also have jealousy. Sometimes could be stronger, especially in business or in the ranking in the office. When they work, a lot of jealousy, and they try to try to step on one another. That could happen also. Women's kind of jealousy is a different kind of jealousy. Okay, in terms of what she wears, what she has, what car she drives, what kind of son she has. Sometimes they can quarrel because of the son also. My son is like that. No, my son is like that. My son is like that. My son is better than your son. It could happen because of that jealousy. Now that is a different kind of jealousy. But men and women alike both have jealousies. It's only in the few that they are involved are different. Now, jealousy means one cannot bear to see or hear the successful achievement of others, right? Correct? When others are successful or what others have, you cannot stand. Why he has, why I don't have? So because of that, many people, they're very jealous, they throw all kinds of statements. She's just lucky. You know who her husband is? If not because her husband, you think she'll be like that? There are a lot of going on. That's jealousy. Yeah? Some people say that. Now, they rejoice when you have jealousy. You cannot stand people's success. You rejoice in people's failure. Some people are like that. When they see people fall, people fail. Good. Some people do that. So in certain ways, sometimes we are not different. We are no different from children, right? When children see another children fall, and how can they say So that happens to adults also. Sometimes we see when people fall, we are so happy. That is also not good in Buddhism. We don't have. When people fall, we say like that, we don't have a compassionate heart. When people are successful, we are jealous. We don't have this sympathetic joy with us. What's wrong with seeing people successful? There are many problems today in the Buddhist organization because there are some people, some Buddhist leaders in the Buddhist organization cannot stand to see the success of certain Buddhist organization. That's why you got all the problems in the Buddhist circle, which will be blown up in the newspaper sometimes because of jealousy sometimes. But remind you, I see many cases people who are jealous, they fall after some time. It does not last long. Don't write on jealousy. Don't ride on the wave of jealousy. When the wave hits the shore, that's the end of you. Okay? So, jealousy stops progress and ruins friendship. You've seen how friendship ruined because of jealousy? You've seen that the local Cantonese shows, right? Between the two girls, how one girl is jealous over the other's girls. You know? How they ruin their friendship and ruin everything. That's a simple story to tell you that. Jealousy makes them accuse, poison, crucify, kill, and many other bad things that they do. I give you an example. History has shown this. Socrates is so smart, so famous, that people cannot stand him, they poison him. Jesus Christ was very much accepted by the people in the Middle East, especially as followers. They could not stand him, they crucified him. Muhammad Gandhi was such a nice guy. They couldn't stand him, they shot him at gunpoint. President Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, was so undiscriminating towards the black. The whites couldn't stand him, they shot him. President Anwar Sadat was very kind, was very far-sighted. He signed a peace agreement with the Jewish Israelis. They shot him. Of course, I'm not trying to say that, no. I'm not trying to frighten you because you have so much love, compassion that you'll be shot one day. Not that. But this is to show that sometimes people couldn't stand jealousy. People couldn't stand the success of others. They had jealousy. But that's how it makes them a great man. So if you want to be great in life, you can't help by, sometimes people are successful. Today is his day. Maybe tomorrow is my day. So why should I feel jealous about it? This year he won the competition. Okay, next year I may win. I must work harder. That shows I'm not good, perhaps. But some people are not. Even if you have got it through some not so good way, we always know he has his own karma to face. Why should you feel jealous over him? So, because of that, we should try to, mudita help us to open up our hearts and to accommodate others. People are successful, let them be. Perhaps they work hard. Perhaps they have tried very hard. So, mudita helps us to develop this heart which is called the appreciative heart. The accommodative heart. Understand? To develop this kind of heart. So when we have an accommodative heart or an appreciative heart towards people around us, we can still collect them into our arms. In our arms. We can accept them. People are successful, let them be. We can still be friends with them. Don't feel jealous about them. So if you can do that, you can always build up relationship with people. You don't have to hate them, eventually go away from them and try to make them fall. Don't have to do that. Be accommodative. And the last one, of course, upeka or equanimity. See, life is full of changes. You agree? Life is full of changes. What goes up must come down. There's no such thing as what goes up will go up again. It will come down somehow. It is a constant change between. In fact, we are living in a state where sometimes we are successful, sometimes we fail. Most of the time we fail much more than we succeed actually in life. Okay? But it is through the failure that we learn to readjust and to try to find another success somewhere. Okay? Now, life is full of success and failure. Loss and gain. Honor and blame. Today people honor you, tomorrow people may blame you. Okay? Happiness and sorrow. All these things happen from one stage to another. So, in life, when we want to have relationship with people, we must be prepared for these 8 things. The very person who praise you today could be the person who blame you the next day. Remember that. So we should not be disturbed by whatever things that happens. Okay? Now, for example, ego, all of us have ego, right? Everyone has ego to a certain extent. Now, this ego, of course, there are many people who spend their life trying to build up their ego only. That's why they buy more expensive things. Not actually necessary. They got a watch, they want to wear a $10,000 watch, which tells the same time. $10,000 watch don't tell different time, it tells the same time. Okay? They wear $10,000 clothing, which serves the same purpose, to hide away your shame and from cold and from whatever it is. You see? So there are many people who spend their life trying to build up the ego. Today it says, "Ayo, you're so beautiful." Ego becomes like a balloon. The next day another person, Brother Yo, says, "Oh, you're very smart." The ego becomes bigger. Balloon becomes bigger. And mind you, your ego are just like the balloon. The more you blow, it becomes bigger and bigger. One day it will burst. But if it does not burst by nature, that means you blow and blow and blow and blow, it bursts. You will burst in an unnatural way. For example, "Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're so smart. Oh, you're so friendly. Oh, you're so..." So it gets bigger and bigger. Then the moment another girl comes and says, "Your shirt looks terrible." Now that ego suddenly becomes like being poked by a nail. It takes just a small nail, pin, to break the whole balloon, right? The balloon may be that big, never mind. It just takes a small pin. That could happen in our life. People who praise you could be the one which takes the pin and blow you up. It could happen. So, as Buddhists, if we have this kind of understanding towards upekkha, that we should always try to keep a balanced mind. People praise you, put your brake a little bit, don't go too fast. Okay? And people blame you, don't worry. In life, there are people who praise, people who blame. After all, the Buddha says, right? He who speaks a lot is blamed. He who speaks a little is blamed. He who keeps silent is blamed. The Buddha says there's none who is not blamed. So one day, if your boss were to blame you, if that blame is justifying, accept it. If that blame is not justifying, just forgive him for his ignorance. Boss, sometimes they have a lot of pressure also. So some boss cannot take pressure also. Because of that, they throw their frustration on their workers. That could happen. Just like some teachers could throw their frustration towards their student. Just like some parents could throw their frustration towards their children. It works that. So sometimes as children, we must try to understand what kind of pressure your father faced in the office or your mother faced somewhere else. So if we have that kind of heart, then we won't take it so hard. If you take it softly, your life will be better. If you take it too hard, you'll be worse. So our heart responds to all with delight and despair because of all these problems. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are not happy. Sometimes we are satisfied, sometimes we are disappointed. Sometimes we are thoughtful, sometimes we are full of fear. Okay? These waves of emotion carries us up, and sometimes it flings us down to the bottom. How shall we erect the foundation of our life in the midst of this ever-changing problem? One moment we are okay, one moment we are not okay. It is this quality that we should have. Remember, in the office, you don't get praises all the time. You'll be blamed. Be prepared for blame. Then when the praises come, it becomes bonus to you. Okay? In life, be prepared for disappointment. But if satisfaction comes, it is a bonus to you. In life, be prepared for sorrow. But if happiness comes all the time, it is bonus. In life, be prepared for failure. But if success comes faster than you expected, take it as a bonus. So in that sense, you become more prepared. Whatever place that you work, whatever people you enjoy, you are working with, you are more prepared. There's some staff who will appreciate your work, some staff don't. Some people will appreciate your work, some people won't. So when you are prepared for that, then you are more you have more equanimity, balanced mind. Never mind, today he blames me. One day perhaps he will appreciate me. He will. Now, equanimity is a perfect, unshakable, balanced state of mind. The Upekkha helps us to be able to face all these severe tests and to regenerate energy from within. So sometimes we are faced with this kind of problem again and again. We always think of this Upekkha, that we should always keep our mind balanced. In a world full of mad people, let us not be mad. In a world, people caught in a rat race, let us become the cat instead of the rats. Something like that. In a world full of mud, we must be the lotus which blooms from the mud. This is what the Buddha wants us to be. In a world full of changes, full of storms, we must be like a solid rock that stands firm to where we stand. So if we can have that, then we should try to develop what we call a balanced heart. A heart is not easily shaken. Okay? So to end my talk, if every one of us can try to develop, number one, undiscriminating heart towards people that we meet. If we can develop a helpful and caring heart to people that we meet, if we can develop an appreciative and accommodative heart to people that we meet, and if we can develop a balanced and a cheerful heart to the problems that we face with people, then we find that we enjoy to be with people. We don't hate people. There are many people who hate people, who hate life, who hate the world. And because of that, eventually he hates himself. He kills himself. He cannot take his problem. He cannot take the pressure from his colleagues. He cannot take the pressure from his boss. He cannot take the pressures of work in the working place. He kills himself. That could happen. If he doesn't kill himself, he landed up himself in some of the nice houses with nice name. Hospital Bahagia. It could happen. Okay? It could happen to any other people in KL. It could happen to you and me. So, if we want to enjoy a good relationship with people, if you still want to enjoy, to live with people, let us try from today and onward, try to have more caring heart for others, accommodative heart for others, undiscriminating heart for others, and at the same time to develop a cheerful heart. If it works, smile. If it doesn't work, never mind, don't frown. Behind every laughter, there is sadness. Behind every sadness, there is laughter. So when we fall, how low can you go? We are not playing limbo rock, you know. Limbo rock, you must know how low can you go. But in life, no matter how low that we go, we can still go up. Because we believe everything is changing. Anicca. Okay? So because of that, I hope if you can practice all this quality, you'll be happy with yourself. Most important thing, you must be happy yourself. When you learn to be happy with yourself, you will learn to be happy with others. And when you can learn to be happy with others, it falls back to you again, that you'll be happy also in life. So it's a kind of reciprocal effect. Okay? The cause and effect. So let us try to build up human relationship by applying this quality. Remember, learning Buddhism means you must learn to have a heart. What kind of a heart? I repeat, undiscriminating heart towards people around us. Number 2, a caring heart and a helpful heart. Number 3, what's number 3? Mudita, accommodative heart and an appreciative heart. Number 4, we must have a cheerful heart amidst all these problems. 只要你有爱心，你有关心，有慈悲心，人家就对你会有心。有心的世界就有爱。Okay, that's how it works in our society. So with that, I end my talk here. Thank you for being patient.
Have any question to ask Brother Tan? For the past 1 hour, we have listened to the Dharma and hence created goodness for the present and future. Let us then channel all this good, powerful energy into our reflection. Let us recall to mind all the meritorious actions that we have done this morning. We have made the right effort to come to the temple, to participate in the Buddha Puja, to renew our faith and refuge in the Buddha Dharma, so that we may learn to abandon wrong views and practices, so that we may learn to develop wisdom and compassion in our lives. These are all productive merits which will bring good results in due course. By the grace of these merits we have accumulated today, as well as in the past, may all beings always be free from harm and danger. If we are faced with troubles and difficulties,